Day and time for Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones Usen. Now, today on the program, federal government pledges to relocate some correctional centers in order to create space and security, just as Nigeria's Correctional Service recaptures 50 inmates after escaping from Suleja Custodial Center. Another issue is fresh dollar sales to BDC operators by CBN boost Naira to 1,250 to a dollar. And later on, we'll share this with you. EFCC withdraws appeal against former Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. Now, a former commissioner in the Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, Ken Okolugbo, will join us for the discussion. But let me report that I'm hanging out with Adekunle Yusuf, my colleague. Kunle, I greet you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. We expect Dr. Alabisi Deji Folutile to join us very, very soon. So the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, then, to our first story. You know, the twists and changes or turns of political fortunes are not mere accidents. For some, it's a roller coaster, and for many others, a topsy-turvy exercise. One-time deputy to late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, Agboola Ajayi, who fell out with his late boss over his governorship ambition, has hit it big in the state. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, picked Agboola as its candidate for the November 16 governorship election. There, he polled 264 votes to defeat his closest rival and former lawmaker, Kolade Akinjo, who polled 157 votes. Now, the voter has the final say in the matter. We'll share the story first by Ayodeji Moradeyo, the TVC News staff. Let's go there, please.
The International Culture and Event Center, popularly known as the Dome, was the venue of the governorship primary election of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ondo State. Accreditation of delegates by the Governorship Primary Election Committee, headed by the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Lawrence Ewudapo, took place as scheduled. Voting began in earnest as delegates moved into the venue to cast their ballots. Thereafter, the vote was sorted and counted with Agboola Ajayi emerging victorious after polling 264 votes to beat 6 other aspirants. His closest rival, Kolade Akinjo, scored 157 votes, while the former Secretary General of Afenifere, Shola Ebisheni, scored 99 votes to come third.
By virtue of the results, Ajayi Alfred Agboola, having scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner of this primary and hereby declared the candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the November 2024 election.
In his acceptance speech, Ajayi urged his co-contestants to see the contest as a family affair.
Very credible process. I'm happy, and I'm sure everybody in Ondo State are highly happy with this result. And let me also commend the Nation Executive of our party for putting in place a transparent process.
The emergence of Ajayi signals a great governorship contest between him and the incumbent governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, in a battle tagged as a clash of two former deputy governors. Adeji Moradeyo, TVC News.
Thank you, Deji. Yeah, Kunle, but it doesn't matter how popular you are as a candidate. The voter has the final say.
That is it. In any democracy.
In any democracy.
Yes,
they say the voter is king.
Yes, they are. They have the final say.
Okay.
And by his success in the primary, the former deputy governor to Akeredolu, the dynamics of Ondo State politics has really changed. Because the man that is the governor today was the one that replaced him.
Okay.
He fell out with Akeredolu over
this number one spot.
Ambition that, oh, you want to be governor, not anything else. So it wasn't, but he was impeached. And this same governor too also, at least allegedly,
almost
fell out
with
Akeredolu. Yeah. He also survived impeachment, by the skin of his teeth. So, but the truth is, they are both former deputy governors, but this one is lucky, he's now governor. So, but when you look at this one, he's been contesting for a long time. He contested the 2020 governorship election, I think on Zenith Labour Party platform, but he lost. Then in 2023, if I remember well, he contested, as senator to represent, a section of the state in the National Assembly. I think he lost to Jimo Ibrahim, if I remember well. Now, the point I was trying to make is that he's a tested politician. In the politics of Ondo State, he's not a minor, he's a tested politician. And when you look at the primaries, they had nothing to hide. It was open. And he won. Unlike the other one when it became rancorous and everybody is, everybody is calling for this and that. So when you look at him, the forthcoming election is going to be a very tough contest with his emergence. Unlike what everybody thought all along. For him to emerge, the dynamics, you will see the scenario coming.
Let me announce formally that Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile has finally joined us. I greet you, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you.
Ondo State on your mind. The election, the governorship election is not until 7 months from now. And so former Deputy Governor Agboala Ajayi appears to be a popular gentleman.
Well, I'm actually eager and waiting for the contest between two former deputy governors of Akeredolu, now slugging it out together on the electoral field. Remember that he was also, like he rightly put it, he was also the deputy governor of the state before the current governor, who was also deputy, who got lucky to become the governor. And I think he's tested. And it seems to...
Who is tested? Agboala?
Agboala.
Okay.
Agboala, it seems to, at least from his own election right now, it's like he got there by whatever popularity he was able to garner as an individual.
For me, one striking thing is that the PDP pulled this primary through without any rancor.
Yes, to show you, that for me, whether PDP, APC, Zenith, Labour, or whatever,
or BBC.
They are everybody, they are together. Because even this, our Agboala Ajayi was in Labour, Zenith, APC, PDP. So it's like everybody is together. But what I'm trying to say is that he seems to have gotten that ticket based on his own personal popularity, unlike the lucky man that could have had the advantage of being the governor of the state right now, and other factors that could have worked in his favor based on the position that he currently occupies. So for the interesting thing for me really is the fact that these two deputy governors will now come and face the people of Ondo State.
So we expect a battle royale.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay,
And believe me, this is a very strong message to the camp of the APC. And because it's always a camp in that camp now. And don't forget all those that are, squaring up against Governor Aiyedatiwa.
Yeah.
The APC will need to do a marvelous job to be able to bring all the warring, factions to accept him as their candidate. Remember, the political family of, the former governor, Akeredolu, is in tatters. Or let me say it's in tatters. He's in different camps.
Except that
the vast majority of them, don't seem to want to embrace Governor Aiyedatiwa. And at some point, you just have to, because he's the new leader. But what we are saying now, the APC will need to tread softly and do a very, tough job of reconciliation.
And consider also...
so that they don't work against their party.
Yeah. Consider that also that incumbent Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa is going for just one term, whereas an incoming Agboola is likely 2 terms.
But the difference between them is one has Lucky in his name, the other one doesn't bear Lucky as a name.
The other one has Agboola.
Not Lucky.
Okay.
So one is always Lucky. Maybe with the luck.
Okay. Politics is like soccer, unpredictable.
Yes.
Okay. All right, to our next story. Jailbreaks don't happen often, but when they do, they leave correctional authorities wondering what they may have left undone. There was pandemonium and anxiety, if you ask me, at the Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center in Niger State. As many as 119 inmates escaped the facility following a rainfall. Now, the federal government is seriously considering relocating some correctional centers across the country. The idea, we understand, is to create space and enhance security around our correctional centers. It's never too late to do the right thing, don't you say, Sister BC?
Yeah. Actually, when we look at correctional centers, I think there is urgent need to look at these places and make necessary corrections. It's a correctional center, but the government itself needs to make corrections. Let me give you this.
The institution needs correction too.
Yes, let me give you these statistics.
Okay then.
Now, in our correctional service centers, according to the Nigerian Correctional Service, there are 78,286 inmates. And out of this number, we have a total of 80,124 inmates.
Okay.
Out of this number, we have convicted inmates making up
3,000 and something.
No, 24,688.
Waiting the hangman for the hangman.
The ones that are convicted.
Yeah.
The ones that are not convicted that are there, they are also about the same number. So what we are saying is that we have 80,000 plus, but the ones that are convicted are 24,000 plus, which means that the others that are not convicted, maybe they are on trial, they make up the remaining number. So that tells you something, that we have more people in our correctional centers awaiting trial.
Yeah, but the Minister of the Interior got there, that's Suleja, and said inmates, there were more inmates than should be,
Exactly. And
what does that tell you?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I told you we have a total of 80,000, but the entire capacity is for 50,000.
Okay.
We have about 240 or 250 correctional centers in Nigeria with a total capacity of 50,000. So which means that the people there are above the capacity of these correctional centers. So for that Niger State, definitely the facility, the inmates there will be more than what the facility can hold. That's the point I'm trying to make. And that is why I said that our correctional service needs correction itself. So the minister is in order. when it talks about, creating more spaces for inmates and convicted people in our correctional centers. But I also think that it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Because we also need to talk about our judicial system that could allow for almost the same number of convicted inmates as awaiting trial inmates.
Okay.
There is something wrong with that system.
Yeah.
Because it means that there are many more people there who have not even been convicted, but they are in that place
awaiting trial.
Yeah. And that number is huge. And the reason being because the judicial process has not finished with their trial, so they are neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And which means that if we don't take care of that judicial system, the trying period and all of that, we will continue to have that even if we create more centers. Because the possibility of more people getting in there without being tried and all of that is still there.
Yeah, Kunle, the statistics reeled out by BC is instructive because the immediate past Minister of the Interior, former governor of Osun State, talked about governors signing death warrants or commuting sentences to reduce the number of inmates at our correctional centers across the country.
That's just one out of several problems afflicting that sector.
Yeah.
If we truly want to make progress in that sector, what the minister said is just a little out of several things.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? It's not about just relocating. That sector is really, really moribund. You said correctional centers. What is in the name?
No,
they are prison yards.
We mentioned feeding of inmates too.
That's just one of it. Have you visited any of them? When you look at them, it's a shame that Nigeria is parading these kind of facilities and this present, level of civilization.
An international news agency mirrored the...
We need to truly overhaul that sector, and part of it has to do with the police, part with the judiciary, part of it with our executive arm of government. Today, when you talked about the governors not signing death, go and see the high number of people on death rows. They are there. Nigeria is feeding them. They have been tried, most of them that are on death rows have been tried up to the Supreme Court. So, except the court of Almighty God, there is nowhere you can go again. But we have people as governors who are lily-livered, I'm sorry to use that word, all of them, they are always saying it, they don't want blood on their hand. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And if you don't want blood on your hand, it is wrong with
means.
you. Because by our law, the system, they have exhausted all the avenues. There's nothing else they can do. Or you release them, or sign them.
Or sign this thing.
But not allowing them. That is one. Two, do you know that many times the police, maybe they are on, they are reading, and before you know it, they pick people bus stop everywhere. Yeah. And many of them end up being, sent to the prison. Some. There was a year I worked with Pemi Falana Chamber, and we were, Kirikiri. What I saw that day, I was crying. I lost my cool. You remember something trivial will happen, and police will come. Instead of arresting it, they arrested the wrong person. And before you know it, 26 years later, he's still in the prison. Nobody is forgotten. There are many of them like that.
Yeah.
For us in Nigeria, with the way we pray to God, we love to serve God, we are doing things that God will never want us to do. So this is just one of... So it's not about relocating. They need to overhaul that sector totally. What do we want? Go to even smaller African countries. Is it the kind of facilities they parade as correctional centers? No. Have you been into any of them? what you see there, you feel shame for our country. So now you are talking about feeding. Feeding is just a small aspect of it. Where they live, they treat them like animals. Whereas in other places, if you commit crime and you happen to, serve, you can learn a lot of things. You can even go to school. Some Mandela became a PhD. His school did everything through the prison.
Yeah.
So we should do things that should reflect our level of civilization.
Because going to prison means you are going to get corrected.
But the government change the name from prison to call it correctional centers. Whereas what you go there to do, you become, when they come back, they become hardened criminals.
Makes you ask, what's in a name? Okay.
So when you look at the way, I have the timeline of jailbreaks in our country, it has become a national embarrassment. And we need to sit. 2017, you have it in, Enugu. October, December, the same 2017, you have it in Akwa Ibom. 2018, you have it in Niger State. 2019, you have it in Kogi. 2020, you have it in Edo State. 2020, you have it in Ondo. 2021, you have it in Imo. 2021, you have it in Plateau. I can go on and on and on. And the government, apart from just we will do something or we are doing something, we have not really, scratched the surface of this problem.
All right. I hear we must go to our next story, but let me tell government and who's listening to me, there's no time is too late to do the right thing. I wish the government very, very well in this connection. Okay, to our next story. Let's talk the Naira now. In a frantic bid to shore up the value of the Naira against the dollar, interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, continue to yield positive dividends. On Monday, the Apex Bank initiated the sale of $10,000 each to Bureau de Change operators at a discount rate of 1,250 Naira to the dollar. The aim, we understand, is simply to bolster the Forex, the foreign exchange market, and stabilize the national currency. It's the second such sale this April and the fourth in the current year. Now, are the BDCs playing ball, Adekunle? Will they play ball, if you understand what I mean?
Honestly, if I tell you that I'm more confused than even, because what is the exchange rate now? Because at some point last week, 2 weeks, you see Nigerians celebrating, and Naira has come down.
Yeah.
Has it come down now? It is going up again. And we wonder, what are the reforms, achieving? Has anything come down? So when you say positive report, where is the positive, effect we have seen? Today, yesterday, day before yesterday, what was the exchange rate to dollar?
Today is 1,350 or 1,004.
The other day it was about 1,500.
460.
So, what is really driving this? You said it's BDC. You say it is cryptocurrency. You say it is. You have done all of this. What else are we supposed to do?
Now, are you saying the CBN is not doing the right intervention?
I don't think it is good enough, because what you see is not what Nigerians want. Nigerians want to have a better lease of life. And with this volatility in the exchange rate, as we are seeing, look at the prices of everything. Go and see.
Because the man on the street is not interested in knowing.
You know the big grammar.
Yeah, he wants to go to the shop and find that goods and services are affordable to him.
In an import-dependent economy, the most important, or one of the most important variables, is the exchange rate system. You need to put...
Otherwise, one clear way, one way of saving the national currency is to return to the way of production again.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, really, because Yeah, the CBN's intervention, I won't say they are not good.
Yeah.
They are okay, but obviously they are not enough to bring down the exchange rate, and they can never be enough because it is not meant.
Speculators are not
It is not meant to be enough. The real thing that is going to show up the value of our currency is productivity, and that's we need to increase our exports and earn more forex.
Yeah.
And we also need to produce what we consume here so that we reduce our dependence on imports.
Yeah.
If we don't work on these variables, which are the key factors that affect the value of the currency, all these interventions, they will just be like, they come today, they go tomorrow, because the real thing...
They're stopgap things.
Yes, and we will be experiencing these kind of things because right now, our demand for forex is more than what is available. Okay. It's a simple case of demand and supply.
Okay. Talk about money now. Let's make some money. We'll go on a commercial break now. We should be back very shortly. Please stay with us. Thank you.
I actually came to pay the money for the recruitment consultancy you did for my company. Beautiful. I took 2 million.
Just hold on. I now collect dollars.
What?
Yes. I don't understand what's happening to Naira these days. So it's going to be 2 million times today's exchange rate.
Doctor, wait. Doctor, wait. Don't tell me you are one of those people who directly put pressure on the Naira and make it lose its value. You want to dollarize our economy, and yet you pretend as if you don't know what is happening to the Naira. I've told you about how you abuse the Naira by spraying and stamping on it during your occasions. You deface and abuse the Naira as if it's not our national asset.
Chief, take it easy.
How? I will not take it easy. And neither will the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Task Force on Currency Abuse and Forex Malpractice. Take it easy with you. They are coming for you. Diseased from economic sabotage, or you will face the wrath of the law.
Okay, folks, welcome back. Yusuf, one last issue you are going to share with us on the subject matter.
Yes, to help the CBN, we need to take...
The national currency.
Yes, to do a good job, the kind of job that will delight Nigerians. We need to go back. Our, crude oil,
the major
foreign exchange
yeah.
Are we meeting the OPEC,
We're not.
Why are we not? Whatever it is, we can solve the problem.
And don't forget,
we can solve the problem.
Crude oil theft.
There is no problem that cannot be surmounted.
Okay.
So we need to work around it. We focus on CBN. There's a limit to what the CBN can do. You get what I'm saying? So whatever the problems, we need to solve the problem, because what Nigerians are facing now, it's not easy.
Yeah. You have anything to add?
I want to add to the fact that we need to also expand our forex
base.
Yes, we should go beyond the crude, and there are so many other ways.
Oh yeah.
For example,
we have been touting going back to agriculture and all that.
Exactly. Look at, for example, one man in the northern parts of the country that just established a dairy industry, and the guy was telling us that in that community, almost everybody owns cattle, and that the milk from the cattle can produce over 280-something thousand liters per day. But the problem was lack of electricity, because you need to preserve that milk within 2 hours or something. Otherwise,
keep it fresh.
Exactly. So you need to now establish a place where the milk will be refrigerated. Yes, we have power problem.
Yeah.
So that has to be tackled, for example. And there are so many other
let me quickly
things.
add
Then
this.
he talked about farming, and at a time when insecurity is pervasive, many people cannot go to the farm.
Yeah, but then Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun is saying, priding his state as being the #1 producer of cassava in the country. We can take advantage of that.
But we produce cassava, but gari is still very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. So that means we are not producing enough to translate to what we make it cheap.
Essentially, it is saying that we know what to do because we are facing the mountain. Okay, then, to our next story. You know, let's talk some more politics. Reprieve appears to be coming the way of the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has filed a notice of withdrawal to discontinue an appeal against an order of a Kogi State High Court, restraining it from arresting the former Kogi hempsman. The anti-graft agency predicates its action on the fact that events had overtaken the appeal. More so, the appeal was filed out of time allowed by law. We have a guest waiting at our Abuja studios. We'll join him very shortly. But Bisi, how do you react to this development?
Honestly, I thought EFCC should have done its assignments well before coming out now to tell us that that appeal was filed incorrectly, because it also sends another message to the populace that you come out, you talk about this person, we can even talk about media trial, so to say, because it was in public purview and all of that, and you now come back to say that you are withdrawing an appeal. I would have preferred a situation where EFCC did its own work very well, did not file frivolous appeal, because even on its own admission, it's telling Nigerians now that that appeal was frivolous, so to say, because it was done after the expected time that it should have been done.
Yeah,
so which, for me,
Coolly, and it makes it more curious when one considers that the chairman of the EFCC is a legal head, is a lawyer.
He really disappointed me, I won't lie to you.
Okay.
I feel thoroughly embarrassed the way EFCC behaves lately, because that's not what we were expecting. You get what I'm saying? Yahaya Bello is not the beginning and the end of all the problems of Nigeria. There's nowhere he can run to. He will face the law if he has committed any crime. But the EFCC, they should stop media trial. It undermines, the entire prosecution they claim to be doing.
Makes you ask the poignant question: are we serious about fighting corruption?
I'm going there. When you look at the zeal, the enthusiasm of the EFCC big man, you will ask: is Yahaya Bello the only former governor of Nigeria? I'm coming.
So hold on. If the EFCC boss says, as is being quoted to have said it, if I fail to bring,
I will resign.
I will resign.
Somebody else will take that job. That's not a threat.
Okay.
So there are many Nigerians that can do the job.
Okay.
And even far, far better. So the way he has done over Yahaya Bello, nobody is speaking for Yahaya Bello. Nobody likes Yahaya Bello. Whatever offenses he has committed, he cannot escape the law. That is not possible. So, but for the EFCC, for you to start addressing the media, he collected 750, this is not for the people of Nigeria. It's for the court.
Okay.
And there's nothing 1,000 EFCC can do to Yahaya Bello, because the EFCC is not the court. The court will pronounce. So, and in Nigeria, by our law, everybody is presumed innocent until court rules otherwise. So, if you see any evidence, iron cut evidence, whatever you have, this EFCC they should stop it permanently.
Okay.
Each time you go to the media to address, to open, even If there is fire in the belly of the EFCC man, he wants to fight corruption, we can give him names. From this government to former ones, so this Nigeria political space is filled with many politically corrupt,
At least I know that no less than 20 or so former governors at the National Assembly.
And in the Senate, many of them are having corruption.
Yeah.
There are ministers that are having. There are former ministers, there are former senators, there are former governors. And when you look at the money we share every month in Nigeria, the bulk goes to the federal government of Nigeria. How many former ministers are we putting in jail?
All right.
How many former presidents are we asking questions?
All right. Gentlemen, let us expand the scope of the discussion, because joining us now on the issue is the public affairs analyst and former commissioner in the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission. I'm talking about Ken Okolugbo. Brother Ken, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. And interestingly, I have always been on TVC, but this is my first time on Journalist Hangout.
All right, welcome.
Yes, I've been listening to your conversation. Do you want me to join, or you want to ask a specific question?
Yeah. What's your attitude towards the tango between the
First
EFCC?
of all, let me correct the journalists that are in the studio there with you. First and foremost, the interim order that was given, the ex parte order that was given on the night of February 2024, that was what EFCC appealed. And the appeal was done on the 12th of March. If you remember very well, the judgment from Jamil Abdullahi was delivered on the 18th. And after that judgment, you do not keep an interim appeal. It becomes an academic exercise. That's exactly what it becomes. And when you now say that you are embarrassed, I think Nigerians should please try to get the facts before they weigh in on some of these issues. The appeal they filed was not the appeal against the judgment of Jamil Abdullahi, the Kogi High Court judge. The appeal they filed was against the interim order that he gave, the ex parte order restraining the EFCC from arresting Yahaya Bello. That was the order that they withdrew from the appeal court. Then going into the details, excuse me, I just want to get my headphones. Are you with me now?
Go on, please.
Yes, going into the details of what has happened, I'm surprised that there's been a barrage of media hype, and I've seen a lot of my colleagues, pundits in the media world, coming so much against the EFCC on this issue of Yahaya Bello. I think it is very wrong. I've been privileged to read the judgment that was delivered by Jamil Abdullahi, and that judgment was very clear. He said while he doesn't have the powers to stop the EFCC from arresting Yahaya Bello, he would restrain them from arresting him, harassing him, because he came with that suit for him to protect his fundamental human rights. But that then again, if it is authorized by the courts, they can arrest him. I think people should look at that judgment before they jump into this fray. Then he went further to say that if they have a basis to investigate and have evidence, then they can go to a court. And what the EFCC did with Justice Wite's court was that they got evidence filed against Yahaya Bello and eventually got an order for arrest. And it was only when the chairman had his press conference, we got to know that not only has Yahaya Bello been invited, he gave him the privilege of having to call him on the phone to allay his fears that there was anything ultra-vires towards him in submitting himself to the EFCC. Why do we make this holla ballo when someone like Fayose actually went all the way to say that I am here, EFCC, I'm here? Obiano is being prosecuted by this same EFCC, and he's been granted bail, and he's also been allowed to travel for his medicals. Is Obiano not also a former governor? I think Yahaya Bello is doing a lot of disservice to the government of Tinubu, having served as his director of youth for campaign. I thought showing that the Tinubu's government is above board in the area of corruption, he should have submitted himself. Whatever he's been accused of is bailable. It's a bailable offense. It's not our offense that he's going to be held in perpetuity in detention. And so the facts should always be put together, not ones that will be jumbled, and you have a lot of pundits who give the impression they have been paid to come on the space and choke the media with so much negative stories on the EFCC. I think this is a lot of disservice on the fight against corruption.
Please, we need to correct certain things because what he's saying is totally different from what we are saying here. We are saying this.
I have read the judgment. Have you read the judgment?
Nobody is talking about the judgment.
We are not talking about
Yahaya Bello is a human being, a Nigerian like everybody, and we said if he has committed any crime, he can't be above the law of Nigeria. There is nowhere he can run to.
He should be allowed to defend
anywhere in the world
himself.
he can be brought back home.
Yeah.
Not even somebody who is within Nigeria. But we are not talking about the filing motions, the court or that. No, that's not what we are saying. What the EFCC is doing about media trial.
You didn't start with media trial. You said you were disappointed that they withdrew the appeal. I am quoting you. You said you were disappointed that it was frivolous.
No. We are not new here. Please, we are not new here.
Hold on.
No, we are not new here. What he's saying live on.
He's our guest.
We have never. I will not say guest.
Yeah,
I'm also your guest. What we have said
let's
here,
hear him.
Nobody has ever defended
Yusuf, if it's a question, ask him.
Now say somebody.
Hold on, please. If it's a question, Yusuf.
That's unfair.
Please ask him. If it's a question, basically, if you have a question.
Yeah, actually, what I would like to...
all right.
I guess what I would like to tell him is the fact that what he explained here is basically what we also explained about appealing that the EFCC withdrew. Because even from the dates that he mentioned, we could also see that that appeal that was filed in March, and all these trials we are talking about, media trial, is happening in April. And you now ask yourself, if this was done in March, why is EFCC going to now withdraw? Why did EFCC have to wait till April 20-something to go and withdraw an appeal that is filed in March? So the question now is that...
that's to our guest.
To our guest.
Yeah.
Is that...
Brother Ken, this is the question.
Okay, they withdrew that appeal because a valid judgment was given on the 18th or so by the judge, Jamil Abdullahi. When a judgment has been given, what is an academic exercise for you to still be dealing with an interim injunction? What they appealed against was the ex parte order, an injunction stopping them from arresting him. And you know, all that while they didn't arrest him until the judgment was given. And that was when they went to the Federal High Court. In fact, for the first time, I've always condemned ex parte orders because you know that courts of coordinate jurisdiction will give different ex parte orders. Most politicians will go forum shopping. But for the first time, you see a court in Kogi giving a judgment in correspondence with what is happening at the Federal High Court, empowering the Federal High Court to do what it is doing right now. And so people have not read the details of the judgment. Why I'm a bit upset here is not particularly because of your journalist that is at the studio. Is this kind of hype that has been, negative hypes that have been given against the EFCC. When you talk of media trial, what did you want the chairman to do? You wanted the chairman to keep quiet while the media was brushing him left, right, and center. I don't think this chairman had a press conference since he was appointed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and was cleared by the Senate. That was the first press conference he was having. And that was because, I mean, for every action, there must be a reaction. If you look at America, Alvin Bragg, for example, who is trying Trump, Alvin Bragg, till now, it's been 2 weeks of trying Trump. Nobody knows the underlying crime. Nobody can tell the crime in the hush money trial of Trump. But he had a press conference, and when he had a press conference and laid out the details of the bribery to Stormy Daniels and all what, they asked him what was the crime. He couldn't even justify the crime. And you know, court of public opinion matters a lot in some of these issues. You don't know how far-reaching court of public opinion matters. When you just give these negative vibes about the EFCC, it just looks like as if the EFCC is just trying to malign Yahaya Bello. Why is Yahaya Bello not submitting himself to the EFCC like his colleagues have submitted themselves? What is such a big deal in him submitting himself if he knows he's innocent? That is the question you must also ask yourself.
Yeah, but Brother Ken, let's look at this scenario. In times past, the EFCC unfortunately lost prima facie cases, and Nigerians are apprehensive. Are we frontally confronting corruption, or do we expect corruption to fight back?
I agree with you wholly. Before now, a lot of people have condemned the EFCC for media trial because first you must do your investigation. So I agree with you if you come from that perspective. But you see, the EFCC, I'm saying this because I've studied the EFCC since Olaolukoyede came in as the chairman. He has never had a media briefing on any of the actions he has been taking. He has, even Obiano's being charged to court, even the cases of the humanitarian ministry, the recoveries that have been made are just the only things that have been said by his spokesperson. And you know, you must have a public relations department. You must even have more than a public relations department to be able to propagate what you're doing as a chairman of such a very important commission. And so if he is trying to deviate from what we have been condemning in the time past, which has been which I solely agree with you, has been the behavioral patterns of the EFCC, let's not also throw away the baby and the bathwater. Because this chairman was only forced to have his press conference because of the barrage of media attacks that he was getting. And you can imagine 500 lawyers were demonstrating. I don't think those were lawyers, like the NBA said, against a valid judgment that the EFCC was actually executing, that was given by a court in Kogi State. Some just act on the spur of the moment. Some act with their emotions. Law is not emotions. Law is based on facts. And that's exactly what I think the EFCC chairman was trying to send when he had that press conference. That, look, you can even freely go and apply for our process. Don't forget that now the Federal High Court Abuja has agreed now for them to serve Wite. Zaz Wite has agreed for them to serve Adedipe, who is the SAN that is representing Bello, with the charges. And now he has been formally charged. He's properly charged before the court. What is expected to do is to appear before the court. So the FCC cannot tell you that they're looking for him anymore now. They only wait until maybe if he doesn't appear and a bench warrant is issued before they will now go after him.
Okay, I think that is the exact point we are making here. Don't also mistake the protest that we see on social media as media reacting. That is not the media reacting. The media are not the people organizing the protest, and the media are not the CSOs. They are not the people that call themselves lawyers demonstrating anywhere and everywhere. If at all, what the media does is to probably report what is going on. So that is not the media trying to hang EFCC for trying Yahaya Bello. And also, the media conference that the EFCC chairman held is not what we are referring to here as a media trial. No, not because he held a press conference. What we are saying is that the fact that instead of going through the legal processes and the formal processes, we keep on hearing about this, about Yahaya Bello and Yahaya Bello, to the point that everybody, all Nigerians, all we are interested in is for a corrupt person, an alleged corrupt person, to be tried and prosecuted and even to pay for his crime. Because
if convicted.
If convicted, yes, because come to think of it, if it is true that Yahaya Bello gave $722,000 out of the state government's coffers to pay for the children's school fees, I don't think any Nigeria benefits from such corruption. So it's not that we are saying that because the EFCC chairman organized a press conference, but the process, we would have loved a situation whereby these so-called alleged criminals, and I'm not talking about Yahaya Bello alone now, but corrupt people in our societies are held accountable for their offenses. You all remember what we heard during the Desiani case. Up to today, Desiani is not in Nigeria. He's not being even punished. He's not being convicted for all the so-called atrocities that were she allegedly committed. So that is what we are talking about, because we really want corrupt people to be brought to book. But what we are just saying is that the EFCC, in its wisdom, should ensure that nobody hijack that process.
Yeah. And in addition, quickly, in addition to this, Ken, just so you wrap up, Yahaya Bello left office on May 29 last year. What was the EFCC?
No, he didn't leave May 29.
Okay, this year, yeah. So what do you think would have happened between early this year and now?
Okay, but first of all, the issue of Desiani has forfeited billions of naira in terms of assets to the federal government, and they have given final forfeiture orders. So the federal government has benefited a lot from exposing Desiani. I think we have all agreed in this program that there should be no media trial as it used to be. But we must at least give this EFCC chairman some kudos. He has not had the same tenets for media trial like some of his predecessors have done. And so if this case has forced him to have the press conference, I'm happy you have agreed that the press conference was not what you were referring to. We shouldn't now try to, like I said, throw away the baby and the bathwater. Yes, to what you have said, that what would have happened between January and now. Yahaya Bello, as his way, he says he's a white lion. And one would have expected that he should have shown a lot of courage, because the issues had been there, that the EFCC had been going on back and forth on the issue of 80 billion or not 80 billion. And so the EFCC is trying to say, have your day in court. The Nigerians can now be seized of the facts of the case, because we don't allow cameras into our court houses. You can only know about what has happened when the lawyers have finished and they brief the media. So have your day in court, then you can see the charges that have been filed against you. Now, Bello now knows what has been filed against him because his counsel has been served. So my advice is, let us stop heating up the polity. Yahaya Bello, appear in court the day of your arraignment. You will be given bail and you have your time to defend yourself. And EFCC would also have the time to put forward their case. And we can put a stop to this unnecessary barrage that has been going on. And your other lady said that the media trial is not about the social media. No, I'm talking about pundits who I have a lot of regards for, who have been seen on mainstream media coming to defend Yahaya Bello. That is what I'm talking about, not even the social media. We all know what social media is like. Whenever you say anything in defense of corruption or in defense of a corrupt person or someone, Nigerians always tend to think that, oh, you are corrupt. Or when they look like you are being oppressed, Nigerians just go in your defense. It's not the social media I was exactly talking about. It was what I was watching from the mainstream media.
Okay. We'll leave it there, Brother Ken. Ken Okolugbe is a public affairs analyst. He joined us from our studio at Abuja. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, then. That will just about do it for our program for today. We cannot go without thanking Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile for your time, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Adekunle Yusuf, many thanks for coming. And so on behalf of the Backroom Boys, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones, saying thank you very kindly. If you missed any part of the program, not to worry. At 11 later tonight, a repeat broadcast will take the airtime. And of course, on Sunday, we expand the field for you from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Just to add that Journalist Hangout is on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Here's what a good hair day looks like and feels like with the new Lush Hair Care range, made with a cocktail of nature's finest oils, with hibiscus oil for hair growth, rooibos oil to eliminate frizz, amla oil to prevent hair breakage, to give your hair life and bounce. So go ahead and be confident.
Stunning, flawless, beautiful.
You deserve the soft life, so does your hair. Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Morning, no. Come. Now we are not the hurry go like say something they pursue now.
Oh, Lord. Now favor with the sick so.
He did hospital with Mama Favor.
Favor get diphtheria. She did.
Maybe you they carry a go take immunization.
Oh, Lord.
I never give a vaccination before.
But since we were born Favor, we never carry and go collect immunization before.
Mama Favor now your friend. You know they tell her.
I tell him. Even Seth, me and my husband follow you talk that time. You dey here when Joy, my sister, born. Every time, they carry him pikin for immunization as he supposed. Even Joy follow collecting COVID vaccine that time.
Now the head of our pikins them, we dey talk for years. If them no collect their immunization, as he supposed be, now their head we dey put for danger. So you no go follow no road.
If your pikin miss to collect any immunization, then go any health center to complete them. Make papa and mama them use that chance collect them COVID vaccine. Call 7722 for more information.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken suya pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty, delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy pounder with ease, because nothing sticks.
I needed a cookware to keep up with me. The Gotham Hammered Collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying over $490,000 for a collection of pans that are not even non-stick. Call the number on your screen now and get it for just 364,950 Naira. This incredible ShopX offer includes one 8.5 inches fry pan, one 10.25 inches fry pan, one 1.4 liters saucepan, one 2.4 liters saucepan, one 4.7 liters stock pot, one stainless steel steamer, 4 tempered glass lids. But wait! If you order now, we will upgrade you to the Premier Kitchen Collection at no extra charge and also include one cookie sheet, one round baking pan, one square baking pan, one loaf pan and muffin pan, and one all-in-one food processor that blends, grinds, chops, dices, pounds yam, and makes smoothies in seconds. All for just 364,950 Naira only. And that's not all. You can get the ShopX Premier Kitchen Collection in 2 easy payments of 182,475 Naira. Place your order now and we will deliver the entire collection for free anywhere you are in Nigeria. But hurry, this exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited time only, so call now while stocks last. The following was a paid presentation from ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello everyone, you're watching Beyond 100 Days with Abosede Adeniran. Join the conversation now on X using the hashtag Beyond 100 Days and TVC News NG. 3 persons have been confirmed dead, 2 others injured, and some others trapped after a building collapsed in Gwale local government area of Kano State. Eyewitnesses say the building, which is still under construction, had about 11 persons in it when it collapsed. Officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, the Red Cross, and other emergency responders are at the scene trying to search for the trapped victims. And away from Kano to Katsina, where a military commander in charge of an army super camp in Dan Musa local government area has been killed in an ambush by bandits along the Sami-Yarajino axis. Sources confirmed that the incident happened on Thursday evening when Major Mohammed led a raid to the hilly parts of Kankara to attack some identified bandits' location. The super camp is centered between the most affected frontline local governments, comprising Safana Dan Musa, Nusima, and Kurufi. As at the time of filing this report, there has been no official confirmation of this report. And to other stories, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured that the FCTA will grant the Ivorian Embassy a tax waiver. Mr. Wike stated this when he received the ambassador of Cote d'Ivoire to Nigeria, Carlo Traore. The minister granted the request for the prompt development of a land in Abuja. He also emphasized the importance of such initiatives in combating insecurity and preventing undeveloped areas from becoming havens for criminal activities.
We received a letter from you in November giving us a period to develop the area. And I'm very pleased to tell you that we are about to start work. We were given here in Nigeria 2 mainland. One at the Diplomatic Drive area and one at Maitama.
Also, thank you for developing the land that was given to you. The whole essence of why we request that is that fighting insecurity, we did not want to leave certain areas for miscreants. And so we thank you for the support. Let me also say that that of issue of tax will be waived. I will call the authority that's responsible.
Elsewhere, a non-governmental organization has called on the federal government to establish a policy framework to strengthen and enhance saving groups in the country. This, they say, will also help reduce the rate of poverty, especially in rural communities. Helen Osamede-Akins has more.
Poverty in Nigeria is a complex issue with multiple drivers. World Bank said Nigeria's poverty rate rose from 40% in 2018 to 46% in 2023, as the number of poor people increased from 79 million to 104 million. Many have attributed the lack of financial inclusion as part of the drivers of poverty in Nigeria. This conference warned the government to establish a policy framework that will support and enhance savings groups to help enrich Nigerian women, especially those in the rural areas.
Recognizing the crucial nexus between policy frameworks and savings group success, we endeavor to champion policy and regulatory reforms and advocate for government initiatives that fosters an enabling environment for savings groups in Nigeria.
That we are doing a lot in order to ensure that what the former administration started in this regard, and of course other efforts that are available not only here but globally, we try to, because we are open-minded kind of administration, everybody knows about that, so we are open for discussions, we are open for advice, we are open for you to even challenge us so that it can make us do us better.
The federal government, however, pledged to review the policy framework to make the environment conducive for savings groups. Helen Osamede-Akins, TVC News, Abuja.
Now to politics. Nigeria's last 2023 general election, which produced President Bola Tinubu, reflects the will of the electorate, despite widespread irregularities. That was the message of the 2023 country reports on human rights practices by the United States. The report, published by the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, U.S. Department of State, stresses human rights practices and violations in different countries, including Nigeria. And that report mentioned, quote, national elections were widely reported to have reflected the will of voters, despite technical and logistical difficulties and some irregularities, end quote. According to the report, many independent observers assessed the results of the presidential, legislative, and state-level elections during the year reflected the will of voters, despite reports of voter suppression and vote buying, campaigning at polling stations, lack of ballot secrecy, violence, and intimidation. Speaking about the corruption in government, the report advised the current administration to address issues of corruption in governance. However, reactions have continued to trail this development as the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party expressed shock over the U.S. report, despite irregularities. Joining us on the program is the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in the UK, Tunde Doherty. Thank you for joining us on the program. Well, I'm sure you have seen this report. So let's just look at, some of the points raised there. And one of them is that the national elections were widely reported to have reflected the will of voters, despite technical and logistical difficulties and some irregularities. What is your take, on that issue of logistics during the general election?
Thank you very much for having me once again. That report was a very detailed report, as combed by the Department of State here in the U.S. Fortunately, I'm here in Miami, Florida, in the U.S. And this report analyzes all the taking on from the election, from the presidential to the states to legislative elections in Nigeria. They have done a thorough investigation, a thorough combination of reports from the journalists, from the human rights activists, even from the opposition political parties. And they have come to conclusion that the election in itself reflects the will of the people, which is the right thing, which is the summary of the report. And that summary, we all know that in Nigeria, that was the wish of the people. The people wanted a leader that is people's focus, that is people's oriented, that has the people in its agenda, that felt what they were feeling. A leader that can be trusted, a leader that can go all along to resolve various problems, a leader that will not be shy away from combating corruption, a leader that will at all times be responsible and responsive to the willings and yearnings of the people. And that was what the people wanted, and that was what we got in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Whatever the election is, there's no election that is perfect anywhere in the world. There's nowhere where election will be pro bono, 100% free of violence, 100% free of miscreancy, or free of any misgivings. So Nigeria election is not immune from such. So the report is so clear. And when you look at the opposition that are reacting about it, yes, what do you feel about the opposition? But what we have to look at is the reflection of that election and what is happening in Nigeria now. Has there been any change? Has there been any proactiveness within from the government point of view? Yes. We can see that, yes, it started on a very tough note because tough decisions were made. And that tough decision, unfortunately, rubs on every Nigerian. But now we can see the reflections of those effects that are coming gradually to benefit the people. You understand? So whether we like it or not, we are beginning to feel the impact and the pause that and the pause of what the leader and the president had promised during his campaign period. So therefore, whatever any opposition says, the people's will has been is now at play. You can see various opportunities have been put in place to cushion the effect of poverty. The Consumer Protection Agency have been reactivated or reenacted to make sure that people get the things at a better price. And all of these are what Nigerians are looking for. They are looking for a government that that can hear their yearnings. And that report was so clear. Whatever the opposition says, the report that the U.S. state has presented was a clear reflection of what Nigerians wanted to go before going to the polls of 2023 election that produces His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, but what's your comment about their assessment of some ethnic groups being intimidated for supporting the Labour Party?
I don't feel there's an ethnic group that has been intimidated from my own point of view, except that those proponents of such are the ones that are intimidating themselves or intimidating the public, because every ethnic group is well represented. Every ethnic group, there's no discrimination in this government. If you look at the composition of the president's team, you see that there is no ethnic group that is taken for granted. Everybody is well represented. So whenever the opposition will use any means to discredit performance, definitely they will use any means to say the performance here and there. But the thing is this: whatever the situation is, we are in an era where every Nigerian must come to support the government, especially in area where you have people frustrating the progresses and the processes of government, the monetary policy, the policies that the government is being enacted. Let us all come to join us together. There's no place in Nigeria that is not wealth-based. So the government is trying to address all of this and making sure that the resources of the country become a genuine investment precursor for all investors. So we must work together, and let us not talk about ethnic and minority or this or that. No, we are all in government. We have to fight this cause together and make sure that Nigeria becomes that great nation and the giant of Africa that we are.
I hear you, Mr. Doherty. We need to take a break now. When we come back, we'll definitely continue. Please stay with us.
I, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear
Thanks for joining us on the program. We are looking at the 2023 country reports on human rights practice by the United States. And my guest is Tunde Doherty, who is joining us from Miami, Florida in the USA. All right, let's start talking about this reports. Can we actually say that these views that have been expressed are the views of the United States, or are they of certain groups? I mean, what is your assessment generally about the preparation of this report?
Yeah, from what we know from that report was not a sole report of the United States Department, United States. It is a combination of various reports that got to them. And when you look at reports from left, right, and center, from human rights, from the human rights perspective, from the journalist perspective, from even the people's perception, from the opposition perception, it was all encompasses reports. Then when they want to take a decision and make their own clarification of such, they will look at the average comments or average takings of the people within such report before they can pronounce that whether it is what it is. So therefore, it is the reflection all around the world that they gathered that gives them that view that, okay, putting all facts and figures together, it shows that this is fair. This is what Nigeria wanted. And even from the layman perspective, you look at it that there was some unpleasant happenings one way or the other in some places or the other, whether we like it or not, when you take the percentage of that, probably the percentage might not be up to 20% of what we are talking about. But when you look at 20% of 100%, the 80% is still is still A1 in GCSE. So therefore, when you look at you see in every report, you see the negative part of such report. No matter how minimum the percentage is, people still hype on that more than the great beliefs of everybody. We look at that. We look at the report and we look at what happened during the election. We look at the fairness of it. You look at when we're talking about result. Actually, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from Lagos State, but the result from Lagos State does not favor the president. So they didn't really take it on that oh, he didn't favor the president. We know sometimes before when the president comes from a particular region of Nigeria, and he made sure that every part of that region was subsumed because he wants to be president from his state, even though it didn't happen. But the thing is that actually Bola Ahmed, when it happened, yes, there's nothing they can do about that. They have to take such result. The result from other states in the Southwest did not favor the president. But at the end of the day, they did not say they did not cry wolf. But the point is that at the end of the day, the president overwhelmingly performed very well in other region of the country. So therefore, when you put the two together, you look at it that there are overwhelming majority within the country that believe that the president is a president that they need, will be a listening president, will be a president that will akin to their demand. Look at what has been happening in all of this. So when you look at those reports there, when the United States will put those reports, they are not going to base their report on one state in Nigeria alone. They are going to base the report on all the 36 states, including the FCT. So the report is going to be a general report. It's not going to be based on the fact that, okay, there's something, this happened in Kano. He didn't win in Kano. He won in Kano. And you look at it that you take Kano to be majority. No. We have 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, where election took place. Even in the FCT, the president didn't win the election in the FCT. But at the end of the day, you cannot isolate the FCT from Nigeria. So at the end of the day, if you look at it from the layman perspective, if you know majority has the lead. And that is why that report was a reflection of the generality and the generality of Nigeria.
I hear you, Mr. Doherty. I hear you. And if you look at it really, we also saw some surprises springing up. We had some parties like the YPP, the Labour Party, some parties that some could consider small, actually being able to clinch some seats in the National Assembly and even in state assemblies.
In state elections, yes. We have Labour Party has a state. They control a state as a governor. They have senators in the National Assembly. They have House of Assembly members. Even YPP too they have representatives here and there. So that's the reflection. That's what the people wanted, and that was what the US is saying, that after combining overall report from various organizations and organs, this is what they concluded, that the election was a reflection of what Nigerians wanted.
All right. And talking about intimidation during the elections, the report says that the videos they gathered for the analysis were actually posted on social media. So do you think it is time to actually take social media content more seriously in independent observation?
If you do a thorough analysis or forensic analysis of most of videos that are all over the social media, majority of them are fake videos. They are fake news, because I've seen in that part of report where they were showing a report of an election that did not even take place in Nigeria. And they were presenting it as what has happened in Kano or somewhere else. So most of the reports of social media shouldn't be taken serious at all, because 80% of what we see in social media are fake news, are fake videos, just to incite the system. So I don't really believe in the social media and the social media report. Majority of those things that comes from the social media are mere fabrications from the junks of those that wanted to use it to discredit progressive and prosperous processes.
All right, and really, this is what the U.S. report, referred to in its reports talking about intimidation of voters during the general election in 2023. But let's look at another critical point that was mentioned here, and that's about women's participation. The report mentioned that women's political participation in Nigeria was 6.7% in elected and appointed positions. And of course, it cited a number of reasons, including religious, cultural, and economic barriers. How do we tackle this?
Yes, I believe that this is the government that is really looking at gender balancing in all its formations, and I believe that if you look at the appointment that His Excellency has been making, and even in the states, you see that there are lots of women that have been pushed forward for great positions, and you can see that. Yes, outside of the religion, cultural, and all of that affected women, a lot of women too are coming out. They are coming out to take their various places. If you look at the banking sector in Nigeria now, women are taking over the banking sector, and that's to tell you that women have come of age in terms of balancing the equality within the governance and administrative system of our nation. And I know that the president himself is doing quite a lot to bring women to the forefront of leadership. And I believe this current administration, they are going to be increasing the participation of women at least to 30% as the president above 30% as the president has promised during the campaign period.
All
and
right.
I'm sure women are there and are ready to take their place in the governance of Nigeria.
Okay, let's talk about the role of international observers in elections. Some would argue about why you would have persons from other countries just meddle, some use that word, in local elections. What's your take on that, really?
It's necessary to have the view of an independent observers from other countries to see how things go. Sometimes their view or what they see are reported as it is live. You understand? They can corroborate issues and processes whenever it is necessary. I am a global labor and social change advocate, and I go to many countries to.
Well, Tony Doherty has been speaking to us from Miami, Florida, and he's been reacting to the 2023 country reports on human rights practices by the United States. There have been several reactions to that report, which mainly indicated that national elections conducted in Nigeria in 2023 were actually reflecting the will of voters, despite technical and logistical difficulties and some irregularities. Well, would have to leave the conversation there. Now, well, that's our program today, and we thank you very much for being a part of it. Do watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'm Abosede Adeniyi. Bye for now.
Here's what a good hair day looks like and feels like. With the new Lush Hair Care range, made with a cocktail of nature's finest oils. With hibiscus oil for hair growth, rooibos oil to eliminate frizz, amla oil to prevent hair breakage, to give your hair life and bounce. So go ahead and be confident.
Stunning, flawless, beautiful.
You deserve a soft life, so does your hair. Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing Shopex's Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken suey pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty, delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy pounder with ease, because nothing sticks.
I needed a cookware to keep up with me. The Gotham Hammered collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection is now available in Nigeria exclusively from Shopex TV. You could be paying over $490,000 for a collection of pans that are not even non-stick. Call the number on your screen now and get it for just 364,950 Naira. This incredible Shopex offer includes one 8.5 inches fry pan, one 10.25 inches fry pan, one 1.4 liters saucepan, one 2.4 liters saucepan, one 4.7 liters stock pot, one stainless steel steamer, 4 tempered glass lids. But wait! If you order now, we will upgrade you to the Premier Kitchen Collection at no extra charge and also include one cookie sheet, one round baking pan, one square baking pan, one loaf pan and muffin pan, and one all-in-one food processor that blends, grinds, chops, dices, pounds yam, and makes smoothies in seconds. All for just 364,000